All right, what's up, guys? This is Sam with Guitar Ramble. We are live at the 2019 NAMM Show with Mr. Chris Martin of Martin Guitars. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good.
Good. So, 2019, what is Martin focusing on, and where do you see this year going to? What kind of products, that kind of thing?
Well, one of the things that it's so much fun because of our 186-year history that we can look back in time at particular milestones. So we have a couple of anniversary models here. It's been 30 years since we've had a relationship with a sister factory in Mexico, in Navajo, Sonora, Mexico. Right. We actually brought 3 of our co-workers up from the factory who started the day we opened 30 years ago.
Wow.
And since Mexico's in the news, I just thought it would be fun to bring them across the border and celebrate that relationship. We also have the X Series guitars, which is our best value guitars, and we're celebrating a 20th anniversary of those. And coincidentally, and from a pop standpoint, probably the most exciting thing is a partnership we've made with the folks that created the original Woodstock Festival. And we have 2 Woodstock guitars here. And they're just, I mean, anybody who remembers that era at all, I was a little too young to go, but they're fun.
Yeah, awesome. So with 2019, how have you seen, say, that over the past 10 to 15 years, have you seen the guitar industry kind of change and morph, and where do you see it going?
Well, we talked a little bit earlier about the issue of sustainability. And in some respects, like when I think about how challenging it must have been for my great-great-great-grandfather to get a piece of Brazilian rosewood in New York City. So it's always been difficult. I think back then, it was a supply chain issue. The resource was there, but the supply chain was this challenge. It's almost flipped now that the supply chain is very sophisticated, but the resource is dwindling. And so the challenge for all of us who make guitars is to treat that resource preciously. Unfortunately, not everyone who has an interest in exotic timber feels the same way.
What is Martin doing in terms of sustainability? Are you like certain types of foresting techniques and things?
It's a multifaceted approach. We have a wood summit coming up. We have one every other year, and of course I go, and I sat through a talk where the fellow said, we as a nonprofit, we go into the jungle, and we talk to the people that are the stewards of the land about, on the one hand, if you treat this resource respectfully, Mother Nature will help. But if you cut down the mature trees and then raise cattle there, the trees aren't coming back. So he talked about, yes, you need a road to go in, but don't build a 4-lane highway. Build a narrow road. And it was a really interesting discussion. You should take a shot. We have on the other side of the booth, and I've never seen it all at once, just in our factory. We have a diagram of all of the different things we've done fairly recently to make the factory more efficient, and at the same time, more often than not, it ends up being more green. That's the cool thing about some of the things we've done, is to buy a newer version of the old technology is oftentimes no cheaper or more expensive than buying a new version of a new technology that's much more efficient and therefore sustainable.
Very cool. In terms of, are there any alternative tone woods you guys are exploring? Is it more so of replenishing what is traditional?
I believe so. Guitar builders, my family included, have done a wonderful job of convincing everyone that rosewood, mahogany, ebony, and spruce are the best woods. They're really darn good, but there are absolutely alternatives. One thing that needs to be acknowledged, that temperate hardwoods, something that would grow here in North America, they regenerate faster than tropical hardwoods. I'm also committed to finding alternatives. Most of the alternatives we're using now are what I'll call man-manipulated wood-based products. The high-pressure laminate guitars. People go, oh, Chris is making plastic guitars. No, that's Ovation. This is a material, it's made out of what's called craft paper. So I looked it up, it's like, why do they call it craft paper? Well, the term craft paper means this is the best paper man can make. So you're already starting out with a good base. You layer those papers in between epoxy and compress them, and it makes this high-pressure laminate. The fingerboards on some of the lower priced guitars are a material called Richlay. Same basic thing, where you're compressing these layers of something that came from a tree. So I'm really excited about them because the trees that those products are made from are tempered hardwoods, and they're grown to be chopped up to make these craft paper products.
Interesting, very interesting. So for the future, 10, 15 years, 20 years, what do you see?
Wow. My daughter's 14, so 20 years. Yeah, you never know. She might be sitting here. You'll be interviewing her, and she'll go, "Who are these two old geezers?" You say, "Hey, I interviewed your dad back in the day." Let's talk a little more short term.
Okay, sure.
I'm very involved with NAMM, and so next year, I become NAMM chairman. What an honor that is.
Congrats.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And it's given me an opportunity to think about not only how cool is our little niche of guitars, but how cool is everything here. You know, that 100 and some thousand people have come here to celebrate music and music making. Doesn't get any better than that.